Ready, Check Radio.
Stand by as we get ready to serve up all your news this week in the world of gaming. Welcome to Gaming Gumbo. What's up, Internet? It's Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern. That means here on Ready Check Radio, it's time once again for Gaming Gumbo, your weekly gaming wrap-up. I'm your host, Mike Byrne, a.k.a. Magic Man, as always, and this is episode 137. We're doing it live. And that means chat standing by to chime in as we talk about all kinds of fun gaming news over the last 7 days. Well, I guess 14 days. Hope everybody had a happy Thanksgiving if you celebrated. I know I enjoyed some time with the family. Hope everybody else did. If you're watching this on YouTube or listening on Audible or Spotify after the fact, thank you so much. We appreciate the support. While you're there, give it a like, a subscribe, thumbs up, all that good stuff, and chime in on all of your thoughts in the comments and include your Game of the Week recommendation when we get there. Joining me to go over all the fun stuff, Mr. Dom Greco. What's up, sir?
How's it going?
Well, you have a lovely little house behind you.
Oh, thank you. I built it myself.
Oh, no, you didn't. That shit was delayed.
I'm on live. I'm here. I don't know what to tell you.
That patch won't be live until 8 p.m. Eastern now, apparently. So that's fun.
I'm on live. I'm here. So I don't know what to tell you.
Oh, you sneaky. Sneaky. And also joining us, oh man, this has been a while. I can't promise this is gonna not go off the rails multiple times throughout the show. It usually does when I had this guy on the MMO Bomb free-to-play cast way back in the day. But I got Havoc back since Troy messaged me this morning and said, got called into work. I'm really sorry again. Havoc, welcome. How are you?
What it do, nephew?
I ain't your nephew. I ain't your nephew. I ain't your buddy, Chief.
Love the glasses,
pal. Yeah, I mean he's looking good. He's looking good. You age well. There's hardly a gray hair in that mug. Looking good. Sorry, I just got lost in the eyes of the bunny there. Well, welcome back.
Well, you can't see them. I got the glasses on, so I get it.
That's true. That's true.
He's just reflecting himself. That's what he's really fascinated with.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for doing the show today. Obviously, very much appreciated, particularly on short notice. I did offer to send him the show notes before he committed to saying yes or no. And he just said, what do I need show notes for?
I don't get why that's so funny.
Like, what do I need show notes
Let's just
for?
wing it. Let's see what happens.
Yeah. He literally said, let's
it.
just do it live. And I said, well, do you want to send me a picture? Because he doesn't have a camera and everything. And he was like, no, you pick a picture. Surprise me.
That is absolutely what I said.
Yeah.
And then you sent me one, and I was like, hey, I like that one, but pick whatever you want.
Yep.
I don't care.
Then I sent the rabbit one, and he was like, yeah, that's it. That's the one. That's the one. Well, I appreciate you joining us. We got a lot to talk about, so let's get right down to it. And let's start with Steam/AI. Kind of a mix of topics here. Because, as we all know, Steam does put up a rather generic disclaimer right now on games where AI is involved in some aspect of its creation. It's not terribly specific. It does kind of maybe give you an idea of it was used in, localization sometimes or generation of some DLC assets. But it's just a flag, basically, at this point, that AI was used in the creation of this particular product on Steam. Well, Tim Sweeney over at Epic Games has decided he'd like to chime in on the discussion and would like Valve to actually take away the requirement for developers to disclose generative AI usage. Now, we got to stop right there, gang, and consider the source, right? Like, this is somebody who very, very much stands to benefit from the use and adoption of products created by generative AI. Like, he just absolutely does. Fortnite has already had its fair share of debacles and discussions on this topic. And, of course, being involved in the creation of Unreal Engines and the use of Unreal Engine, Tim Sweeney stands to gain a lot by consumers not caring about AI in games. And we've also talked about on this show, Havoc, and I'd like to get your opinion since we've already gotten Dom's on this before. From a general gaming audience standpoint, do you think like the audience at large cares whether AI, like we might just because we're closer to it, we know people in the industry, we know the impact that it could have on jobs, whether it's in gaming or just tech in general. So maybe we're very interested in that. But do you think your average gaming consumer, like for lack of a better analogy, cares how the sausage is made on this one?
No, just flat out no. They don't. They're not going to care. It's not like we care because there are people like Yod, who's a fantastic artist, and they're going to use AI to generate art, and they may use AI to review code or things like that. That's a little bit. But my biggest problem with AI in this is replacing people like Yod, who have the talent, who are really good at what they do, and they can just plug in what they're looking for into an AI, and it'll generate a whole scene around everything.
That may or may not have been trained off of his art without his express permission, too, by the way.
Yes. And so while I get why people like us care, generally, no. I don't think that by putting a flag in Steam or taking it away is going to affect the sale of a game. It's just for the general public, it's not.
So if we ascribe that to the general public, right, Dom, then doesn't that mean that Tim Sweeney calling attention to this is probably the wrong play? Like, if you honestly believe the audience en masse generally isn't going to care, then why call attention to that flag being there at all by calling for its removal by somebody at such a high level, such as Tim Sweeney?
I feel like someone in his position who is actively using AI and like not keeping it a secret is probably getting more of the shit end of the stick and getting a lot of those outliers that are complaining. He's probably hearing more of that, where the rest of us on the other end are just hearing little one-off, kind of stories. I think that's why he starts to see it as a problem now, where it's really not, and he's looking at it, it's only going to get worse. And that may be true for him, but not the rest of us.
His view on it, by the way, does kind of intersect with your point, Havoc, about art. He says the AI tag is relevant to art exhibits for authorship disclosure and to digital content licensing marketplaces where buyers need to understand the rights situation. It makes no sense for game stores where AI will be involved in nearly all future production. He actually went further, by the way, in some replies to his initial tweet when he started getting a little bit of pushback or some blowback. And he said, "Why stop at AI use? We could have mandatory disclosures for what shampoo brand the developer uses. Customers deserve to know, LOL." Well, you know what? I feel like no matter what the point is, if enough customers feel like they deserve to know, then it kind of forces businesses to disclose certain things, right? When enough of their customer base gets pissed off, if enough of Blizzard's base tomorrow said, you know what, unless I know the number one shampoo over there, I'm not buying your products. If enough of them said that, then Blizzard would disclose the number one shampoo, right? Like that's how business goes.
Don't they have to market on food if they use GMO food?
Depends on the country and foods, but a lot of times, yes.
But you get the point here, right?
Yeah.
Like, you're getting fake stuff there, so why wouldn't I want to know about fake stuff in games?
Yeah.
I don't know. I just feel like that's a little bit ridiculous.
And again, it's coming from a source that stands to benefit from that not being disclosed if he's worried about this disclosure impacting sales, which is ultimately what you think. I mean, I don't want to ascribe things directly to him, Dom, but that's ultimately what Tim Sweeney is going to be worried about the most, right?
Correct. Yeah.
He's also one of those guys that, like, I'm on his side with some issues, and then I'm, like, on the exact not his side. With, like, I'm not on his side with this one. I was on his side with all of his initial lawsuits against Google and Apple for creating walled gardens and things like that. Now, while Valve has not directly replied as a company, by no means is this like an official stance from their company, but they have had some users, including I.E. Sanchez, a Valve artist who had a bit of a hand in Counter-Strike 2's remake of Train last year, coming to the defense of the AI disclosures. And he said Steam and all digital marketplaces need to drop the made with the AI label. It doesn't matter. That was somebody, Matt Workman, tweeting. And Sanchez said, this is like saying, to your point, Havoc, this is like saying food products shouldn't have their ingredients lists. Consumers should have the information to decide if they want to buy something or not, depending on its content. The only people afraid of this are the ones that know their product is low effort. And Matt Workman tried to reply back and deflect that, saying, like, food you can eat and it can kill you. An appliance in your house can catch fire. However, an image, movie, or game you play how it was produced is not comparable. I'm not afraid of the label personally. I think it's not enforced on Steam, and the rules are not clear for developers or players. And Sanchez replied back, would love to know if your clothes or coffee are produced using child labor, or if the materials are organically produced, or if your car engine had a certain type of technicality. That should be visible to everyone so consumers can make an educated choice, not an opaque one. Agree? Yes? No?
Me? Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I would, if I have a choice between a game that is like 30% AI or a game that is no AI, I like the game, both games, I would want to support the artists and the musicians. I'd want to support those people. So even if it will say a roguelite, doesn't matter. If they're real similar, I'm gonna pick the one that doesn't have AI in it because I want to support that studio, that game, and get those people paid.
What if that 30% is not art and it's things like translations or code review?
See, I guess that's where they need to go back in, and I think that's what the point he was trying to make is they need to be more distinct of exactly what we're talking about when it comes to what type of AI or what the AI did. If it's translations, again, that's still taking a job away from a human, right? And that's where I have the problem with it.
Yeah, and I think if that, not to interrupt you, but I think if that is somebody's primary antagonistic view of AI is that it takes people's jobs, then it really doesn't matter how it was used, right? Like, that is your point of view. If technology is massively taking jobs out of the industry, I'm not for that. I don't care if it was localization or whatever. I do think there is not an insubstantial portion of the gaming population that kind of views AI more for through the lens you're talking about, Dom, where it's, yeah, I don't have a problem with it doing the localization and then a human overseeing the final results to make sure everything was correctly. Yeah, that's going to take jobs away, but I can understand why companies want to do it. It's the same reason the auto industry moved over to the assembly line all those decades ago, right?
This is also getting back to like the supermarket, the self-checkout. It's almost the same thing. You're taking the jobs away because you're scanning your own things. You're not getting paid for scanning your own stuff. We had this argument 20 years ago or 15 years ago when these things started showing up.
Now Chad is bringing up the most commonly, at least the one I've most commonly seen, Havoc, response to this, right? Like, innovation usually takes jobs away in some capacity, sometimes very large, Like, again, the auto industry and moving to the assembly line was a very, very big industrial hit in the United States. The United States here has very little industry compared to manufacturing industry, I should say, compared to 70, 80 years ago, with a lot of that being shipped overseas where it saves money. Now, that's not a new technology taking jobs from the United States. That's the businesses trying to become more profitable by shipping those jobs out of the United States, but you still have the same net effect. A lot of people lose jobs here. Where I kind of, and this is just me personally looking at it, is all of those other industries, when those massive shifts happen that cause mass layoffs or mass disruption to the existing job ecosystem, particularly again here in the United States, because that's my job experience personally, they usually come with other industries becoming either being flat out created, right? Computers invented the entire computing industry. That didn't exist, right? The computer was made to make work easier, math easier, software to do X, Y, and Z easier, and not need humans. But then it opened up the entire technology industry of not just computing and software, but every ancillary technology-based business that came because of those advancements. It's really hard to see that same thing happening when you're talking about AI, Havoc.
It is.
Well, going with what was said in chat, like elevator operators disappeared, but elevator mechanics, elevator repair people came from where, like for this, okay, you get rid of a bunch of jobs, art or even translation, where what was created, I think that's the point you're trying to make too, is the changes not only just got rid of something but created something else with AI.
And don't get me wrong, I'm never implying that it's one-to-one, right? I'm never implying that everybody that got laid off from the auto industry 50, 60, 70 years ago, 100 years ago, I'm not saying that they automatically found jobs in some new industry, right? There were some of them, though, that were absorbed into new industries. Mechanics already existed alongside the operators. To a degree, yes. I see your point, Takal, there. One kept being needed, the other didn't. But to Havoc's point, many, many more mechanics were now needed for elevators because, one, they were now cheaper and had more technology in them. And because you didn't need to hire an employee to use them anymore, they were more mass adopted. So yeah, the mechanics already existed, but now that field also got substantially bigger through mass adoption of elevators. Again, I'm not implying that it's ever one-to-one. It's not. Okay. You know, if you lay off 100,000 people and 30 or 40,000 of them immediately find jobs in a new industry that was created, that's a pretty solid turnaround. It's just really hard to see where is that turnaround going to be when AI takes these jobs, Havoc, because where do you go? The people that are running the AI, they're already in place, right? Like, this isn't a technology.
Aren't they training AI to build more AI?
Right. They keep building the next iteration of themselves. It's a little bit weird. It's a little bit scary, depending on your field. Yes, these are all absolutely true statements. I do think Valve and other companies should have a disclosure. I'm not arguing that disclosure is going to hurt sales or help sales. I think we all agree generally, like we said before, that the gaming media or the gaming audience at large probably doesn't care as much as maybe people on a podcast or watching a gaming podcast do. But I'm kind of with everybody else here, not with Tim Sweeney, saying put the disclosure there, like, and let me decide. If I want to spend $30 on a cheaper AI-produced game, but I'm still having fun, or $70 or $80 on a game that specifically said, hey, we're not using AI, and that game's fun too, you know, who am I to tell you how to spend your money? And here's the thing, though. I think a lot of the heavily AI-influenced games we're seeing right now are selling for cheaper right now as a selling point. not because they were generated with AI, Dom. I think it's if we could keep
Right.
the price lower right now, the intent is not to use AI so we can lower prices for the consumers. That is absolutely not the end game here. And if you think it is, you're out of your damn minds.
No, never. No, that has no influence whatsoever.
You need to go into marketing and selling narratives. Yeah, I mean, I don't have a keep the disclosure there. I'm glad it's there. I'm glad it's there because it's going to get very, very hard, Havoc, to tell.
Yeah,
it's hard.
I mean,
it's
much
much
ready.
Yeah, go ahead.
And to be clear, I'm not anti-AI.
Yeah,
at
nor
all.
am I.
I use it.
Yeah,
I use
same
it.
here.
And could it replace me in my job? Absolutely. Eventually, it probably could. But it's just much, much, much easier to replace the artists and, like Dom said, the transcribers that translate. It's just so much easier right now for AI to do that and replace those people, and that's where I kind of just and I'd want to know if a game or the artwork, especially, and the artwork is what I feel is the important part.
Yeah.
Translations, yes, but really it comes down to the art. I don't want to see great artists kind of lose the passion because they got beat out by a computer that they couldn't stand a chance against. Right.
And that here's on that the art. Like I know you took out them's the breaks though. Like if you're an artist, go do something else. You're a creative. But here's what I think that a lot of people, Dom, don't think about. Specifically when we're talking about art, right? Music, movies, anime, TV shows, Netflix shows, and stuff like that. There are directors and producers and everything now saying, oh my God, a world where AI is from top to bottom making a movie is not a world I want to live in. There are executives on the other side who say, the AI making a movie from top to bottom, actors, voices, scripting, everything from top to bottom is exactly where I want to go because it's cheaper to do. But you have to remember, right? AI is trained on human creations. If there ever becomes a point on the creative front where humans are no longer adding to the creative pool of art and music and creative camera work in editing and shattering different barriers, then the AI caps on what it is able to actually create. There is a point of diminishing returns when you talk about how far you want AI to take the creative process, Dom.
Yeah, you look at it this way, you take like the artist who is comfortable using AI and has like adapted along with it versus like an artist that refuses to use it. And I feel like, the artist that can use it when it makes sense to cut corners and stuff like that will be more valuable in their field. Take like, for example, Mary Poppins, right? You go all the way back. Mary Poppins used this crazy technology to do their green screening. I think it was called sodium vapor process. It uses a very low light of amber light frequency or something like that to do unparalleled green screening, where you can green screen out like translucent clothing that has like holes in it, or like it does the hair. It does everything like perfectly, way better than actual green screen technology does this to this day. So if you take that and kind of like train AI to go around that process and how that was done, we could eventually get to the point where computers can process and do that stuff faster, better, more efficient than AI. You're still going to need the technicians to operate it and do it like that, but the people that are trained in using the AI are going to be more efficient and better at it, and it's going to have a better end result. I don't think it's ever going to get to the point where it's fully going to replace humans entirely,
right?
But it's going to be more of like, you now need AI prompt generators or AI programmers or something along that. It's going to shift the field a bit. It's not going to completely replace.
Yeah, and I mean that's a good example, Dom and Havoc. I wonder what your take is on this. And Baron, the old AI takes everybody's job, then nobody has money to buy narrative. I don't think any of us on the panel here are implying that one. I have heard that argument too, but you can bet the companies are going to find the balance point to I'm making money, and I mean Nike already is, and it has nothing to do with AI, but Nike's already saying we're in trouble. People can't afford our product right now in the United States, so they'll figure that out. I don't really ascribe to that particular argument, Baron. But to the point that you just made, Dom, and years ago when the here we're all old, when the internet first became a thing. And then Google became a thing, which turned into search engine optimization being a thing, right? That hadn't previously existed before. That is an example of computing and internet took jobs, but opened up a new industry, right?
What about my door-to-door encyclopedia sales?
So now I ask this, like, do we see, to Dom's point, Havoc, people who specialize in AI prompting, just like, and we're already seeing that as a position, but I'm talking about, does it become a bigger industry like we saw SEO specialists become an industry of its own way back when?
Maybe that's the job market it creates.
Could be.
Is the hey, how good are you at prompting? It's only AI is only as good, especially if you're like Chat GPT and you're trying to, I don't know, troubleshoot a problem. It's only as good as the information you give it. So maybe that's where the industry grows but that's where you can't really ask an artist to then become an AI prompter.
Right. Yeah, it's a very different skill set.
But you go into, like, they have the tools now to rotoscope art out. Like, they can crop like something out, remove the background faster with AI than they would hand doing it and going pixel by pixel. So, like, they make themselves more efficient by asking them to use AI in certain circumstances. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to say every application, every instance has an application, because it doesn't. But the artist willing to use AI tools and stuff probably will excel a little better than one that refuses not to in the future.
Certainly interesting. Steam, keep your damn disclosure. Don't listen to Tim on this one. Tim Sweeney can get bent on this one. But before we leave,
good for everyone to make their own informed opinions.
Yeah, absolutely. Whether you care about that disclosure or not, it's one of those things. Like, if you don't like strip clubs, don't go. Just shut up. Go down the street.
Going to strip club?
That's after the show. After the show.
Nice.
Before we leave Steam, though, I do want to touch back on the Steam machine. Before we get to this point, though, Havoc, I want to know and you and I have talked a little bit about this, the Steam controller, the Steam machine, and the Steam Frame VR. What did you think of that announcement a couple of weeks ago when we talked about it on the show?
Steam controller, I don't care about. The Steam machine, I'm interested in that. They didn't release a price point for that, did they?
No, that's what we're going to talk about here.
Okay. And the Steam VR, I'm actually very interested in, because I would like a VR that is not somehow attached to Meta. I don't want a Quest because you have to. I know you don't have to have a Facebook account. It used to be you had to have a Facebook account for that. I don't mess with Facebook. I don't want them getting it. I don't use any of their products. So anything that's a VR that isn't a console, like the PlayStation, I didn't want to buy a whole PlayStation just for the VR, right? So the Steam VR, I'm actually pretty interested in.
So talking about pricing, we speculated on this show, at least I did, that I could see the 500 gigabyte model at around $800. And then I think I said the 2 terabyte model at 4 figures, whether that was like just over the 1,000. I think those were the numbers I used. We can go back and check, but I'm sure Dom will correct me if I'm wrong on those. But Steam and Valve have not released pricing on any of these yet, even though they are just mere months away. These are coming out in the first half of 2026. But we did know from Linus Tech Tips very early when he did the day one stuff, video content he put up, that don't expect the Steam machine to be priced in line with consoles. Think of it to be more in line with the PC market. And a lot of people thought that's like the wrong way to go. Like, if Steam is going to do this and kind of try to play we're a PC, but we're putting on the console mask, then get yourself into that market. And we talked about on this show that the one main reason they probably can't do that is they can't subsidize the hardware like Sony does with the PlayStation or Microsoft does with the Xbox or Nintendo does with the Switch, where they can subsidize up to a certain loss on consoles to a certain degree because they're going to make that back in the margin on the games that they produce. Well, Valve's not generally in the gaming market, with the exception of a few titles that are highly profitable. Let's not pretend they're starving for money, but they can't subsidize the hardware in the same way. Well, they did confirm that aspect, that they cannot subsidize the hardware. So think of it as a mid-level gaming-focused PC, just designed to be a little more accessible on the gaming front than your standard desktop PC might be. Linus Tech Tips did a video, Havoc, where they did the best they could with the current market prices as of today to recreate a Steam machine with just the specs. They weren't worried about cramming it into a small box, form factor or anything like that. Just the specs that they have released. What would it cost to recreate the 500 gigabyte model today? And they came up with about $700 to $800. Now, they do have a little bit of room to play there because there is some custom stuff that Valve is doing on the CPU and the GPU that obviously they can't account for because they don't know how custom things got behind the scenes. But they come out to about $700 to $800. And that's still a lot can change in 6 months with tariffs and the economy and all the stuff that's impacting RAM and GPU and CPU pricing right now. If that 500 gigabyte model comes in at, let's say, the $800 mark, which is ironically where I predicted it the day we covered this, are you in or out, Havoc?
Well, considering I just bought a gaming PC, I'm out. What I get it a few months ago. Yeah, I gotta be out. Had I not bought a PC, then yeah, I probably would have gone with. I probably would go with a Steam machine.
Now let me ask you this: you're out. That's fine. Do you think the market is in or out? Because there are market analysts that are really concerned about them not subsidizing this pricing in any way, shape, or form, or at least at the moment not publicly planning to. Do you think that it has a market at $800 and maybe, let's say, $1,000 for the 2 terabyte version?
Ooh, I don't know.
Takal in chat says charging $8 for this is nonsense. It's insanity.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I'd have to agree with him. Unless you're in the market for like a gaming PC, I don't know.
I mean, you got to look at the Steam Deck, right? And the Steam Deck is about $500 on its own.
Yeah, for the top end model at the time it launched. Yeah.
Yeah. So
yeah, but I love my Steam Deck.
Yeah, and the Steam
I'm not
machine
saying anything. I'm just saying
is roughly 6 times more powerful than the Steam Deck.
Correct.
But my Steam Deck has a screen on it.
Yeah, you're right. It does. It has. All bets are off. You win the argument. I don't know.
And
I think
wires.
it's risky.
Yeah, I don't know.
Dom, it's something that I want personally to do very well.
Right.
I really want the Steam machine to do well.
I would love to see more consoles out there other than, Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo. I miss the days of Sega.
Isn't that what they're lining themselves up for this though? But 800 bones. I mean, you hook it up right to your TV, you get the Steam controller, bam, it's a console. It's running Steam Big Picture, probably on Linux again. I don't think they gave.
Yeah, it's using the Steam OS, the same overlay stuff that is used on Big Picture mode and on Steam Deck.
But
yeah,
also,
to me,
keep in mind though that the new Xbox coming out is rumored to be coming out for $1,000.
And is rumored to be this exact type of thing where it's more PC than console. It just happens to be best suited to be hooked up to your TV without having to lug your gaming PC up to your living room or whatever.
Yeah, that's a good point, Dom.
Yeah.
If the Xbox comes out at $1,000, then yeah, I think this does have a place in the market.
I want this to do really well, and I've said this before. I am a day one adopter for all of them. I'm not going to buy a separate controller because I'll get a controller with the Steam machine. But I'm definitely interested in the frame. I'm definitely interested in the Steam machine. But I do put the big caveat on that of that's just me being like an insane tech day one adopter. I want to get my hands on it. I want to be able to speak intelligently about it. I want to mess with it. Not saying it's going to be something I use every single day. See my Ouya, right? But I am absolutely a day one adopter, even if it is, a little overpriced for what I would feel comfortable paying for it. So I am by no means the market for this. The market is the people that don't want to put or don't have the money to put into a big gaming rig, but have either have a Steam library or a PC gaming library through some other third party that they haven't been able to take much advantage of lately, or have always wanted that, but have never had a PC. So I don't have a Steam account, but now I could play all of that stuff and I can do it from the comfort of my living room. That's your audience. So can you convince them to lay down $8 on a pre-built unit, Dom?
But wait, it's not just $8 though, because you also have to consider the Xbox and the PlayStation are backwards compatible. So if you have a disc drive in those, you can play all your previous stuff. If you're a console person, you got to start all over and purchase every single game all over again on the Steam.
Yeah. No doubt.
There is that.
No doubt. Yeah. Baron says your PC so old now that you need to upgrade but can't afford it. Yep, that's the market.
And it's
learn
good
some
for
fucking
people that
restraint
aren't
till the
familiar.
prices come down. Don't get ripped off for instant gratification. I'm in a blessed position to be able to afford that lifestyle at the moment. It may not always be the case, so I'm going to enjoy it while I can, Takal. Thank you, though.
And it's also marketed at people that just don't understand computer specs,
That
right?
too.
And they don't know, like, oh, is this graphics card better or is this one? Is AMD better? It's a no-brainer. Like, you just don't have to think. It's like, this works out the box.
Very
I don't
true.
have to think about it. Everything that I want to play, I know will work.
All of those pros
appeases to a lot of people, not necessarily me, but
all of those pros and cons that we've brought up, that Chad has brought up, they are all true. There isn't a single falsehood amongst them. So, Dom, you got to make the prediction. Does Steam disrupt the market with this, or does it end up pricing itself out of potentially creating a bit of market disruption?
If it comes out into the $800 range, I think it will be okay, just knowing that the current market value for the coming Xbox is between $1,000 and $1,200. That's where it is estimated to be placed at. So knowing next gen Xbox is going to launch at that price, and you would assume Sony is going to do something around that price as well. If they're coming out $200 to $400 cheaper, yeah, I think Steam stands a huge chance.
Havoc?
Agree with that. 100%. I agree with that. Because the Xbox already said it's going to be basically not a console. It's going to be a gaming PC.
Yeah,
so,
and they've used words like a premiere experience, stuff like that. How did they phrase it? I don't remember how they phrased it, but it was very foo-foo.
I'm already
premium
considering. I'm already considering not buying a PS6 whenever that comes out. I have the PS5. I was a day one adopter. I was very excited for it. I definitely enjoyed what I played on it, but I don't feel like I've played enough on it to justify the purchase of it.
Well, you're also seeing more and more companies, including Sony, including Square Enix, those Japanese companies that have historically been slower to want to release their titles across multiple platforms. They usually have some type of exclusive for a period of time, and then it goes to PC, or an exclusive, and then it goes to Xbox. Or we've seen even those companies start to say, okay, day one, all platforms. Square Enix's main titles for the first half of 2026 have already been confirmed as day one across all platforms.
I'm curious though, how many of these game companies like Sony now are they going to look at releasing on Epic versus Steam so they don't have to compete, in the PC market? There's things like that to consider too now that Steam's going console route. So
we'll we'll keep watching it. Game Awards coming up, not that far away. When do they actually air? The 11th, I think.
The 12th, 13th, something like. I don't remember.
11th. Yeah, it was December 11th.
Okay.
So we got a little over a week, almost 2 weeks. But there are some rumors out there. And so I just want to get some quick takes from you guys on the rumors. So first up, let me show you this one.
Mm-hmm.
This is a statue in the Mojave Desert.
Mm-hmm. I've seen this.
And I know this is the last one in the notes, but I want to go through it first. This came from Jeff Keighley tweeting out an image, which was a portion of the statue you see on your screen here, with the caption regal.inspiring.thickness, to which players quickly recognized that as a what three words phrase address, and they got the coordinates to a remote area near Joshua Tree, California. People went and found this statue there. At night, the statue lights up and looks like that. Looks pretty cool, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Now, initial speculation went in a few different directions, gang. It ran Diablo. It ran to Elder Scrolls 6.
Bloodborne, I think.
Yeah, potentially Bloodborne, and a few other places. Now, we do know that a few of these thoughts have been shot down, like fully confirmed. Oh, God of War was another one that was being thrown around. It is not God of War. The team behind God of War confirmed. Jason Schreier over at Bloomberg confirms that it is not Elder Scrolls 6 and it is not Diablo, which was my personal front runner of the rumors. I thought it was going to be Diablo.
Not Diablo.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. Jason Schreier is reporting that it is a big game announcement and a good one and is not going to reveal any more than that. So it is not Diablo 4. It is. These are all items that we expect to see at the show, right? Diablo 4's expansion. That is another rumor that will be announced at the show, as well as a Switch 2 port. But yeah, I don't know what to think now, Havoc. Like, I mean, it looks cool, but I think maybe we're off to something new at this point.
I believe it is a statue announcing they are starting development for Hades 3.
Jesus. You and Hades. You are just all about. I mean, that man plays.
Hades 1.5.
That man plays so much Hades. So much Hades. He was over here for Thanksgiving. He had me go get my Steam Deck because he did not bring his. Because him and his nephews were talking about Hades. And while we were finishing the dinner prep and everything, and it made him want to play it. So he made me bring my Steam Deck up so that he could install Hades 2 and play it, because talking to his nephews got him in the mood to play it.
No. The worst part about that was I was sitting at home before I came over, and I put in like 3.5 hours of Hades 2 before I came over, and we ate, and then that's why I was talking about it, and then that's why I wanted to play some more. And then when I came home, guess what I did? I played more Hades 3 or Hades 2.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you, Takal, that when I say that we're in for something new, I mean title-wise, but IP-wise, I think it is very much in something we know exists. I tend to agree with you there, that this isn't the type of marketing you do for a brand new IP or anything, but it's not Elder Scrolls 6 or an expansion to Diablo. So, like, I'm looking more for a very hit game that we would know the IP that maybe never had a sequel. Like, maybe something along those types of lines when I say new. Dom, any guesses? I like, or were you with me that Diablo was kind of your...
I was pretty set on Diablo, but since you said that, the first and only thing that can come to my mind right now is a new Doom sequel. But the thing that throws me off on that is there's animals in there. There's crocodiles and all kinds of stuff on the base of that statue. So I'm really kind of clueless.
We'll find out on the 11th. I have seen others say, oh, okay, if it's not Diablo 3, then it's Path of Exile 2. And I will tell you that there are two teams, in my experience working at MMO Bomb for as long as I did, that have no problem making a YOLO drop at the Game Awards. One is Grinding Gear Games. They could absolutely have an expansion like ready to go and YOLO drop it, not just announce it, but freaking launch it at the Game Awards. They've done that. The other team is Warframe, the guys at Digital Extremes. I don't know if either of those two games are exactly... I mean, they certainly both make a ton of money and could do marketing like this if they really wanted to. I just don't know if the juice is worth the squeeze for this type of marketing. Although, how much does it cost to just go put a fake statue in the middle of the fucking desert and let people find it and not say anything, right? Like,
that's why I thought it was Blizzard.
It doesn't
right?
cost
Blizzard
anything to do
makes
this.
these kind of statues all the time.
Yeah. So I don't know. There is a game that I we'll talk about it in a second that is also we'll talk about it a little later, by the way, that is also rumored to possibly be showing up at the show. But I don't think it's related to that either. So I don't know.
It's not happening.
Half-Life 3
Not happening.
is rumored to be appearing at the show as well.
Nope. Valve cannot count to 3.
So there's a lot of speculation on this one, more than usual, right? More than the usual Half-Life 3 when stuff, Havoc. One of these apparently is a clue that was actually in the Steam Machine video stuff that they revealed that a lot of people just didn't notice. That the Steam Machine was actually codenamed Freeman at first, which obviously is Gordon Freeman from the Half-Life series. Do you think that there's a Half-Life 3 coming at the Game Awards? And the other half of this speculation from a number of places is that it will be released before the midway point of 2026, which is an interesting speculation if you think about it, because then you could make it a pack-in title with that damn Steam Machine. I'm just saying. I'm just saying, if you want to move some units, that might not be a bad way to do it.
I don't like your logic on this.
It's not my logic. It's the internet's.
It's not coming out. It's not. It'll never. It's just not happening.
No Half-Life
Just
3
not.
at the Game Awards?
No.
All right, I'll
no.
put you down as that prediction.
Ever.
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 2080 is the earliest.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Ubisoft, here's another Game Awards rumor for you. Ubisoft's remake of the Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time is skipping the show.
Okay.
So maybe not as ready as people thought. So we may not expect to see that at the show. However, other rumors point to maybe Turok Origins is slated for a 2026 release, and we'll see that at the Game Awards.
Oh, maybe that's what the statue's for.
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
I don't think so. Chat, by the way, on the Half-Life stuff, Coldfire says, nope, never going to happen. Takal says, if it actually comes out, do we think big numbers, or is it more meme than anything else these days? Oh, it'll be massive numbers.
It
could be.
I think it'll be memed to death too.
If Half-Life 3
can't both exist.
If
Why not both?
If Half-Life 3 comes out before GTA 6, I'm done.
Oh,
I'm done.
Here's one that I do hope is true. This rumor. Control Resonant is a new trademark that appeared this week ahead of the Game Awards. Most of the reporting coming from MP first, and then kind of being distributed to other sites from there, sourcing them. But we did see a trademark for Control Resonant. I loved the original Control. Not so much a fan of the Firebreak game that came out in that environment or in that IP, that universe. It seems to be doing okay on Steam, but it's like a 3-person co-op. It's not the single-player narrative the original Control was. And we do know that they've been working on a sequel for a while. They also have contracts now to do some like live action stuff with Control and a few other, or their Alan Wake franchise over at Remedy. So this trademark appeared. If you look at who owns it, it's Nordia Attorneys at Law. That is the same representatives used by Remedy Entertainment for all of their other trademarks. But, yeah, this could be an announcement of something Control sequel related, or because of that contract that we know they signed with Annapurna, could be part of the live action stuff, and maybe we'll see that at the game. I would love to see Control at the Game Awards. Absolutely love it. Or Starship Citizen. I mean, maybe, yeah. I think I would love to see Control there. Havoc, did you play Control?
No, I didn't. I know it's a game.
Oh,
That's not all I know about it.
I love that game. And then finally, yeah, we got the desert statue. Maybe the statue is related to Control, Dom.
Maybe.
It's not. Last bit of big news before we move over to the miscellaneous tidbits and then call it a day here. World of Warcraft has announced that Midnight, its next expansion, will launch on March 2nd. Dom, I think that puts it right in line with where we predicted, which was end of February, beginning of March. And that gives just about the right time frame for what? Legion Remix to end early in January and then head into pre-patch and all that fun stuff. Also today, by the way, the final patch of The War Within went live. Depending on your area, may or may not be live at this exact moment. There was a little bit
live
of a
for
delay,
me, so
which also included not only the warning content for the kind of the wrap up for War Within, which is not a lot of content there, but more importantly for most people, housing beta has now housing early access has officially started for those that pre-ordered the Midnight expansion. So I think it was really funny, by the way, that there were commenters on this that were like, oh, we thought it was early February because you stupid Americans reverse the date and the month when you do the 6-digit dates like that. But if you go to the blue post where I pulled the video for the B-roll here, and it said 2/3/2026. And I was like, wait a minute. I thought I saw comments where the people were blasting Americans for putting the month ahead of the date. So shouldn't that say 3/2? In the blue post on the official site, the embedded video is apparently a European version of this trailer where they reversed the 3 and the 2, but the 3 and the 2 version of that trailer is unlisted. So the only place you could see it was embedded on the blue post. If you actually went to Warcraft's official YouTube site, the public-facing video was this 3/2 video. So I just thought it was really ironic because it confused the shit out of me for a second.
That's great.
But yeah, so housing. All three of us can take part in housing. Dom, I know you and some friends are already there. You've been lovely and invited me to your neighborhood. I said, hold that for the show because we might be able to get Havoc in on this too.
Yeah, no, it'd be great. But I just found out because booting it up, you can't make private neighborhoods yet.
Nope.
So you can just make your own whatever. You can pack your house up and move later. So offer is still on the table. I would love for you guys to join us. But yeah, we're making our own little community.
Havoc, do you want some new neighbors?
So I was sitting in voice chat waiting for the show to start, right? And Dom throws that message in Discord, and then I reply to it jokingly, and he jumps into voice chat. He didn't say anything at first. And I told him, I was like, I'm gonna come over and hit a lick in your whole neighborhood and just rob everybody. And then Right as I finish saying that, boom, he dumps out of voice chat, and I'm like, oh shit! like, like that pissed him off. He comes back in, and I'm like, dude, I'm sorry, man. I didn't mean to. He's like, what are you talking about? I didn't hear you.
My Discord was broken. It wouldn't connect to the channel, so I had to close the whole client, reopen it. It was the best timing. Like,
yeah, like literally right after I finished the sentence, he just leaves the voice chat.
Yeah, I know Havoc, you're not particularly like gung-ho about the housing, huh? I mean some people, that is their MMO endgame, right? Glamour and housing.
Yeah, I'll mess with it, you know. I will most likely, because I need to go back, and because I missed a whole bunch of expansions, so I have a lot of achievement hunting to do. So I'm gonna most likely end up with a bunch of stuff anyway from going back and achievement hunting. So I guess I got somewhere to put it now.
Coldfire likes housing. I will mess with it. I mess with housing in every MMO. It's not my personal end game. Dom, how like heavy are you on this? I mean, I do think that WoW is doing some neat stuff with it compared to like my MMO, my main MMO, Final Fantasy 14. I think it's going to blow that out of the water because 14's housing is just still to this day not very good. Not talking about like what you can do as far as decorating it, just the housing system from top to bottom is, yes, I've had a house in 14 for years and years and years since it was first introduced in 14.
I like the idea of like having the house and decorating it, but I'm not actually one to do much of the decorating, which I'm really excited for their import feature. So like creators can make really cool houses and then put the code up, and you paste the string into the game, and you can copy their house, and then you can modify what you want to modify. That's probably more of what I'll do. And I've seen some really cool things where people have made like escape room type houses with like jumping puzzles and stuff. That's more my kind of alley. So I'll probably tweak some of those designs and tailor them a little bit more to my own. But to build it entirely from scratch is very likely not happening.
He means the Final Fantasy lottery system. Yeah, nowadays, yeah. I've had a house since long before lottery was a thing. All right, let's hit up some miscellaneous news bits, and then we'll call it a day.
I actually have something for you, Mike.
Oh yeah, go for it.
Have you played any of Fortnite Festival?
No.
So I know, because I know you like rhythm games, right?
I do. In fact, this past weekend, I forgot to tell Havoc this. I'm going to take Havoc one of these times. Havoc and my brother Lou. There is a Japanese rhythm game arcade in Pittsburgh that I did not know about, because it's like hidden in the back room, third floor of a building where you're pretty sure you're going to get murdered going up the steps. We all went there, my kids and I, on Saturday. My oldest son found it, had a blast, and it was like I think I put $20 on the card. The cards you scan for the arcade machines. We were there for like 4 hours. I still had $6-7 left on it. Like, it was super. Anyway, huge rhythm game fan. So anyway, go ahead, Fortnite.
So a adjacent company that's not related with Fortnite Festival entirely, CRKD, who does a lot of the rhythm game controllers right now, and they're mainly like the company that came out of Guitar Hero, right? So they're making those, and their current guitar controllers are compatible in Fortnite Festival and will work for their pro controllers. They actually just announced this last week, or was it? No, I think it was a couple weeks ago. They just announced that in 2026 they are releasing drums. Finally, like, this is what I was waiting for Fortnite. I jumped into Fortnite Festival when it first came out, wanting to play drums. Realized that my Rock Band drums would not connect to the game. I was upset. Like, that's all I want to do is play the drums, and I stopped playing it. So now that the drums are coming out, I'm actually kind of excited for it. So I will say it feels like playing Rock Band or Guitar Hero. It really does. Like, I wish they had a client to just play this and none of the rest of Fortnite, because Fortnite is a huge installation just to play a rhythm game. But
if you don't play, if you don't play all of it, it feels like so much wasted hard drive space.
It really does. They need to learn how to like micro install aspects of that game.
Hey, so in some miscellaneous news, maybe not video game related, but kind of video game related, Magic the Gathering's crossover for the Secret Lair with Monster Hunter was supposed to launch this week. However, when Wizards of the Coast actually revealed the set last week, it maybe fell short of expectations by a little. By a little. You know, there were misspellings, there were thoughts from the crowd, the players saying that these really don't fit thematically with the game, that the Secret Lair cards that are being produced aren't even worth the amount that I'm paying to buy them as far as being playable. There was a lot of feedback. And far be it for me to be giving Wizards of the Coast a pat on the back. But I think they did the right thing here, and I honestly didn't expect it. Because they haven't actually been all that great to their customers for the last X years. Insert number here. But they have delayed Secret Lair X Monster Hunter to sometime in 2026. A few months from now, they will give a new release date for it. The Super Drop fell short of expectations. They've heard you, and so they're taking the whole thing back to rework the Super Drop entirely. That's... While I think it's what they had to do, it's very easy to say you guys have to do this or it's going to sell poorly. They technically didn't have to. They could just deal with it selling poorly and not meeting sales expectations, but get some money, which is what Hasbro and WotC have been known to do in the past. This is literally taking what was going to be sales to close out the year off the board now and pushing it into 2026. Which is a little bit of a ballsy move, but it's the right move. And I've been blasting this company for 2 years now for various decisions. So I got to pat them on the back when they make the right decision. I think this is the right decision, Havoc.
I agree. Yeah. Sorry, I don't really... I didn't play Monster Hunters, and Magic has not been my thing. I'm not really a card TCG person.
Didn't they just release like Avatar: The Last Airbender?
Yes.
Do you know how that did? Did that perform?
No,
well
I don't really follow the performance tracking on it.
Yeah.
Just let them do their thing. It's, whatever.
I figure if anything's going to do well, that's going to do well.
A Final Fantasy before that killed it. I mean, that sold like gangbusters. That crossover. On the Ubisoft front, by the way, we do have a bit of an update on them delaying their earnings call 15 minutes before it started. That was really just to reclassify a few things. The numbers crunchers behind the scenes thought that it would be clearer if they reclassified some things in some different areas. And a $1 billion+ investment from Tencent into Ubisoft, not a purchase of Ubisoft, but an investment in one of their companies has been approved. So that was the whole deal there with delaying that. But to hit you with some quick Ubisoft facts, in addition to the fact that Prince of Persia remake might not be at Game Awards, Ubisoft is no longer planning to release a second Assassin's Creed Shadow expansion. That's off the table. They had problems with that was part of the season pass, and then they didn't do the season pass, and now they're not even doing a second expansion. The Tencent deal did go through, and Assassin's Creed Black Flag remake release date has reportedly been leaked. Now, let's be clear, Ubisoft has never actually officially acknowledged that the Assassin's Creed Black Flag remake was even a thing, but we've kind of known it was a thing for a while now. And the release date that is speculative is March 23rd, sometime that week, March 23rd. I think this remake makes a lot of sense. A lot of sense. They should have done it before they did Skull and Bones.
Mm-hmm.
Havoc, how much would you pay for Fortnite?
Nothing.
Ah, right, because it's a free-to-play game. Yeah, that's right. That's right. That's
nada.
That's right.
Zero.
Well, somebody paid over $42,000 for a copy of Fortnite.
Get the fuck out of here.
$42,500 for a copy of Fortnite. Now, to be clear, just to give a little more context around this, it was a sealed copy of the Xbox version, and there wasn't like a high run of the console boxed copies. And this was when Fortnite was literally just was not free to play yet. So, this was like back when Save the World was kind of going to be the main thing before the Battle Royale really took off, and it was just kind of a side thing. So it was a sealed Xbox copy of the old buy-to-play Fortnite that has since been graded and sealed by WADA at a 10A++ rating. That is their highest rating. So not saying it makes it worth it, just this wasn't somebody shelling out $42,000 and I handed them a copy of Xbox Fortnite. There was a bit more context to this one, and 42,500 is by far, Dom, like one of the smaller numbers we've seen when we've talked about these types of sealed box sales. But it is Fortnite.
It's just wild to me. Like the article that I read it off of, they were like talking about how, like it includes this game mode that is valued at $20 and this, and you're still paying like $42,000 over the cost of like what it's worth. And I'm sitting there going, yeah, this is a ridiculous kind of like statement to even be making when like people are buying the original Mario Brothers at $2 million.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
right.
It's a collector's piece. It's not about the value of the contents of the box,
When I sent Havoc the link to the show notes, this was the first thing he replied to me on. It was the first thing he said after I sent him the link. He was like, "Are you fucking kidding me? Fortnite as in Fortnite?" I was like, "Yeah."
Fool and his money.
Some people really like Fortnite. I don't know what to tell you.
Your nephew in chat, Havoc, says $42,000 just to open it when those drums come out. Touche.
Is the disc made of gold or something? Like, come on, bro. I'm sorry. That's just wild.
Hey.
I mean, Don's got a point, though. I mean, people are spending crazy amounts but we're also talking original Nintendo games still see, like...
Yeah, and even those, like, have those
Fortnite.
oddball things, right, where it's like,
Right.
Is it the peg hook version or the non-peg hook version? Is the peg hook still there? Like, They
Yes.
are, micro-detailed situation. This is... I bought Fortnite for the Xbox, and I left it sealed. Then Battle Royale exploded, and it went free to play, and I still have this sealed. Like, okay.
Yeah, and also keep in mind there very few copies were actually even made.
Yeah, it was
physical in the
it was
first place.
very limited as far as its physical edition printing goes. But still, I don't know, man. $42,000. Ugh. Even if I had it, I wouldn't.
I guarantee you this is one of those things. If you brought it opened right to GameStop, they wouldn't even trade it in. They would throw it out if they had like
unless
used
you
copies.
take it on December 6th.
Do you know how many versions of Maniac Mansion I could buy with $42,000?
If you take it to GameStop on December 6th, they gotta take it. Well,
They would take it,
they
but
don't
I
have
still
to.
think they would throw it out.
They
You
don't
know what I
I
mean?
could
Like
build
they
a
would
house.
just throw it in the dumpster.
Hey,
Build a house out of Maniac Mansion cartridges.
Yes, you could.
$42,000.
Yes, you could. Hey, Havoc, you're a Far Cry gamer. I've seen you dabble in the Far Cry. Do you want a show? Because that's coming. Far Cry, FX has announced that Far Cry is going to get its own series on Hulu, and that's coming from some of the creators behind It's Always Sunny and Alien Earth, the recent Alien season, which just got renewed for a second season. I know some people really, really hated on that. I felt like it did fall short in a couple areas, but I found it moderately entertaining, and I'm interested in a second season. I don't care about Far Cry, but I know you do. But it's kind of like when you think about the Far Cry universe, you're like, so is it going to be Breaking Bad? Is it like, isn't that just like drug running and all that stuff? Like, or do you think, hey, Twisted Metal made it, why can't Far Cry?
That's the exact analogy I was going to make. I was going to say Twisted Metal was actually pretty good, but it's another. It could be Twisted Metal or it could be Borderlands movies, right? Like,
don't say that.
If
out
you
loud.
watch,
It could be. It could be the Resident Evil Netflix live action.
Look, I love Borderlands as a game.
Yeah, you do.
The movie was atrocious, just garbage, right? So, will I give Far Cry show a try? Yes, in hopes that it'll be more like a Twisted Metal. But we got, like you said, where are they going to take it? Is it going to be a Breaking Bad? What are you going to do with it? Like, there's a lot there. Let's see what happens. I'd be interested. Yes, I'd watch it and I'd give it a shot.
Dom, in case you are worried about any last-minute Christmas gifts from me, I can take one thing off of your list.
Really?
Do not
might have to cancel my order.
buy me Microsoft Xbox fucking Crocs.
Do you know how many pairs of Xbox Crocs I could buy for 42 grand?
I mean, they're $80 a piece, so yeah, quite a few.
I hate you.
Now, let me ask you this, Mike. Would you take them if they actually functioned as a controller?
What is this? Fucking green eggs and ham?
Would
Would you take them in the house? Would you take them if they could be used as a mouse? No, I would not fucking take them, Dom. I would. No. By the way, you could buy 531 and still have a little bit of money left over. Havoc.
I absolutely love how they have the Croc in the picture that you have up on the site. They have them in sports mode too. They got the wrap around the back, letting you know that not only is this a shoe, but you can run in these boys. Oh my God, look at that thing.
They have the Xbox logo, all the buttons, the control stick. These are available now. They are available at $80 a pop. Keep in mind that this isn't,
Is that murky?
This isn't new. This is like they did the Windows XP themed ones as part of Microsoft's 50th anniversary celebration. So this isn't the first foray between Microsoft and Crocs.
Is that murky?
It looks like it.
Is that?
And just to confirm for you before we hit up games of the week, CD Projekt Red has confirmed Cyberpunk 2 is real. It is coming. It is very, very
15 years
early.
from now.
Yeah, it is in pre-production. They have taken the code name off of it, which was previously known as Project Orion. It is now known as Cyberpunk 2. That name will obviously change. And the details, very few, but the few things we do know is that Cyberpunk 2 will reportedly introduce a second major city. It'll be aiming for more reactive crowds, more varied play style, and improved world systems. And job listings for the game point to potential online or multiplayer systems. So if you want some more Cyberpunk, you're going to get it in 2033. Let's head over and do games of the week. Games of the Week is the way we end every episode of Gaming Gumbo here. It's where all three of us recommend a game. Could be a video game, board game, card game, mobile game, something we've played in the past or playing now or haven't played but think you should check out, and you let us know who gave the best recommendation. Dom, we're going to start with you.
Oh boy. So this probably isn't going to show up very well because I have the green screen going, but because this weekend the movie's coming out, I'm going to recommend Five Nights at Freddy's 2, and I got my popcorn bucket ready to go.
Cool.
Such a cool guy. I'm going to go ahead and recommend Warhammer Age of Sigmar, the tabletop game. Not because I have a lot of experience with it. In fact, I've never played it. But my oldest son and I bought a starter thing like 2 years ago, saw there was like 90 models to put together, and we were like, yeah, fuck that. That'll be a weekend project. And we might actually get around to it here shortly. So I'm hoping it'll be fun. And if you have recommendations on Age of Sigmar stuff, let me know. Yep, Guild Wars 1 Reforged comes up tomorrow. We talked about that a couple weeks ago. I definitely will be checking it out a little bit. Go ahead, Havoc. Finish it up. Game of the week.
Oh, I think you know where this is going.
No.
You got to know, right?
No.
You have to know.
No. I mean,
You don't know.
Have you heard? It was my understanding that everybody had heard.
Oh, no. No, that's not what I was getting at. Stop it. It's Hades 2, obviously.
Oh.
It's shocker, right? Like, I literally had... I had 100 hours into just the early access. So, of course it's Hades 2. Absolutely.
I think that makes sense. That's going to do it for us here today. We'll be back on Thursday with our episode of The Relic Grind, and then we'll see you next week. Just a few more episodes, and then we will head into the holiday break for the Christmas week and New Year's week. But you still got a couple more weeks before that happens. Havoc, it's been awesome having you here. I mean, you don't really use social media, so
yeah,
like,
I know you were going to get to the where do you follow? Where do we follow you at? You don't. It's ready. You just go to Ready Check Raideo. You go to It's Zista. You follow them. You don't follow me.
Takao says your game of the week thought it was a Maniac Mansion drop incoming, and now he's disappointed.
Damn. That's actually man.
Wild.
Yeah.
Wild.
Go ahead, Dom. Where can everybody find you?
Down there somewhere? I don't know.
Seems good. You can follow me down there. You can follow Ready Check Raideo. I'd really appreciate it. Follow us on Twitter and YouTube. We're getting to some nice little milestones. But if you don't, that's fine too. I still love you. Later.